Hello guys, welcome back. This is KP from First Class, and today I'm going to teach you how to plan your essay. Have you heard of this term, failing to plan is planning to fail? That is very, very true when you're writing any kind of discursive argumentative writing, any kind of exposition. You will have to plan because planning helps your writing become more coherent. As you are more coherent, your examiners can follow your logic more clearly and they find it easier to award you marks. So planning is super important when it comes to expository writing. Now, how do we plan? Planning for this kind of writing, discursive writing, is very straightforward. You have the A, B, and C, right? As easy as A, B, C. First, you analyze the question, then you brainstorm, then you try to create a plan. How do we analyze the question first? Okay, to analyze the question, you got to figure out the type of question, the keywords, and to use your own words as much as possible to paraphrase some of the keywords. Yeah. So we are at planning stage. Okay, phase one, step one of planning, to analyzing the keyword. Okay, so analyzing the question. Now, analysis of a question very often boils down to the type of questions you have. Now, for discursive writing, you're supposed to list down. Okay, like I mentioned in the previous video, you're supposed to list down things. What are the things they can ask you to list down? They can ask you to list down problems. What are the advantages? What are solutions? What are the ways you can do something? What are the factors, the reasons for something happening? And it could be others. But these are generally most of the discursive writing you will see. Now, let's have a look at this question. What are the perks and frustrations of being a teenager today? Remember, from this list, we have problems, advantages, solutions, ways, factors, others. You might see that, hey, this doesn't fall under any category. I don't see the word solution. I don't see the word problems. But if you look closely, perks, frustrations, one is positive, one is negative. This is indeed a problem. You read about the problems that teenagers face. What are the... this is the advantages. Okay, perks will be the advantages of being a teenager today. Whereas the word frustrations talks about the problems that teenagers face now. So there you have it. We have now the type of question. Now, once you know the type of question, it's time to focus on the keywords. What are the keywords in these questions? Now, the type of question and the keywords, they tend to go hand in hand. So you should definitely focus on these keywords. Of course, the word teenager, I'm going to use a different color over here. The word teenager is also key. The next step is to use your own words to paraphrase some of these words. Why do we want to use our own words? When you are writing the essay, you will use these words over and over again. To prevent sounding very repetitive, you want to, as much as possible, use a variety of words. Okay, not using different words, but using a variety. So the word teenager, what are some other words you can replace it with? Okay, and the word perks, the word frustrations, I'm going to give you 1 minute to think of synonyms for these words. Okay, the word teenager, you also have the more informal way of expressing it, teens. We have the word youth, adolescents, and youngsters. Yeah, of course, there are more. You can go and check it up. But with this list of words, I think we can quite confidently paraphrase it while we write later. The perks, like I mentioned, there are advantages. Okay, the merits of being a teenager today, the benefits of being a teenager, frustrations, the disadvantages, okay, the problems that teenagers face today. Learn this word as well, the drawbacks and challenges. And there we have it. we are done analyzing, right? Now, moving on to the next step, we need to brainstorm here. How do we brainstorm for points? Brainstorming is very dependent on how much you have been exposed to. If you read the news more regularly, you might find that brainstorming comes very easily to you. But if you're not someone who reads the news or read regularly, this will be quite difficult. But that doesn't mean you have nothing to write. Okay, brainstorming is about coming up with as many ideas as possible, and then later on you select the best. So let's come up with some ideas of these perks and frustrations that teenagers face. You could say, okay, being a teenager is great nowadays because maybe you have more money, maybe it's more comfortable today, maybe you find it's easier to make friends, yada yada yada. Okay, there are many things that you can talk about. Frustrations, maybe social media and technology could be a source of frustration. Of course, many of you can relate to the stress level that a lot of teenagers face. Well, there are many other frustrations as well. Now, if you can't come up with those things, let me give you a very quick tip. You can use this technique called escapees. When you run out of ideas, try using these domains to help you. What is escapees? E stands for economic, social, crime and punishment, arts and culture, political, environmental, educational, science, and technology, or even sports. Why do we want this list of words? When you have something to latch onto, it's easier for you to come up with ideas. Okay, ideas don't happen in vacuum. They need somewhere for you to spark your creativity. So escapees is like the spark of your ideas. Let's think about economic. Okay, teenagers today, maybe you say are they richer, are they poorer than teenagers in the past? I think most people will tell you that teenagers today enjoy more money than in the past, right? Social, how about your social circle, your friends? Is it better? Is it worse today? I would say social media maybe has made life worse off for some teenagers. Yeah, crime and punishment. Yeah, think about things like what kind of crime, or rather, what kind of offense, okay, bad things that teenagers can suffer from. Yeah, perhaps online predators is dangerous. Online predators. Teenagers today can also be subjected to bullying. I don't have anything for arts and culture, politics, or even environment. Or maybe environment, yes. You can say teenagers today are going to inherit a very polluted world, severely damaged environment. Damaged environment. Think about people like Greta Thunberg. Educational. Are we enjoying better or worse education today? I would say, yeah, education today has improved. Improved education. Science and tech. This is subjective. I would say it's good and bad. Okay, science, technology has improved our quality of life, but at the same time, it's created a lot of issues for teenagers, and you gotta think about the issues that teenagers face. So here we have it using escapees to generate points. Now, the quality of your points does not matter at this stage. I repeat, the quality does not matter. What matters is the quantity. Don't censor yourself by saying, oh, that's not a good point, I'm not going to write it down. Just write down all the points you have, and then later on, when you are trying to create a plan, you can pick the better points. Yeah. So now we've come to the next stage on creating a plan. How do we create a plan? You create a plan based on what you have brainstormed earlier. Now, this is the stage where you will start picking points. Let me use a green color over here. What sort of points stand out to me? I would say, think about it. What am I comfortable in elaborating and explaining? Like, I have a lot to talk about it. I would say education. I have quite a lot to talk about education. I have quite a lot to talk about social media. I don't have much to talk about money. I have a lot to talk about when it comes to comfort. Mm, uh, even bullying, perhaps. Yeah. So I would pick out a couple of points. I say, okay, these are gonna be my points. The rest of the points, you might see that some of them may be subsumed under these points, right? You can combine them, and that gives you a bit more ideas later on. And some points, feel free to discard them if you don't think they're good. Okay, maybe I don't like this point. I'm gonna discard them. Okay, I don't like these points. I'm discarding all of them. And that is how you pick points. Once you're done, you go on to create a plan. How does a plan look like? You always have introduction, definitely. You always have conclusion. But how many body paragraphs are you gonna have? That's the question you gotta ask yourself. What are the perks and frustrations of being a teenager? You see the S over there. You know that you gotta have 2 perks, 2 frustrations. So I will have 2 perks. Perk 1, perk 2, frustration 1, frustration 2. Voila. I'm doing the minimum, and I believe that's enough because I will have a lot to elaborate on later on. So 1 introduction, 4 body paragraphs, 1 conclusion, right? Everything here is called the body paragraphs. In a simpler form, it will look like this. Now, in the next video, I'll teach you how to write, how to start writing. At this stage, we haven't started writing, we're just on the planning stage. But when it comes to writing, you will need to learn some very standard writing skills. What are they? For introduction, you have BT. For body paragraph, you have PEL. And then for conclusion, you have SURF. In the next video, I'm going to teach you how to write the introduction using the BT structure. So stay tuned. We'll see you in the next video.